Welcome back. Now, as Nigeria approaches the 2027 general elections, one of the most pressing conversations in the country's political landscape is the fate of the Igbo agenda. Now, joining us this morning to look at the 2027 political build-up in Nigeria, the Igbo agenda, on answered questions of Abuja and the Homeland, we have Honorable Chidi Ofebu. He is a politician, former PDP Guba aspirant 2014, and former PPC candidate for Imo State in 2019. Thank you so much for joining us. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you.
Good morning. Good to have you.
Thank you.
Now, when we hear Igbo agenda, it's a phrase that is often used, but most people do not really understand what it's about. So, can you tell us what is the Igbo agenda as you understand it?
You know, every Igbo man now is glamoring that it is their turn to be president. But how prepared are the Igbos? Or how calculative are we? Do we really understand? It's all about packaging. You know, whatever you need, you must plan for it. And it is not enough for Igbos to come on air and say it's our turn. It's about planning. It's about negotiating. That's the reason why it's like the North, the Yorubas are ahead of us. You know, an average Igbo man believes in his business. He's feeding himself, so he's not interested. But I think the Igbos are now waking up. There are so many things. Over 10 years ago, it does not exist. But today, we are seeing changes. So the agenda of Igbo man is gradually building up. It's gradually building up. And I know that in the next 2, 3, 4 years, an Igbo man, you know, we are controlling the market. So all we need to do is to control the political space. And the Igbos are now gradually coming up. And the moment Igbos understand what they need to do as a race, I'm telling you, Igbos will take over. Because we control the market all over Nigeria and beyond Nigeria. So if we put our resources, our energy, the way we control the market, we will control the political space. It's just a matter of time. So Igbos have started laying a solid foundation gradually without them knowing it. And in no distant time, Nigerians will know that the Igbos are from God. You're welcome.
All right, so part of the highlight of our discussion this morning is the unanswered questions of Abuja and the Homeland. Can you, clarify us? Who is the Abuja, who is the Homeland, and who are they representing?
When you talk about Abuja and Homeland, you are talking about the politicians in Abuja and the politicians in the East. Sometimes, like during Obasanjo's regime, the ones in Abuja and in the East, they were not agreeing. And the best thing that can happen to the Igbo race is the Abuja politicians and the Homeland coming together, because a tree cannot make a forest. So the Abuja politicians, there's this ego in them that we're in Abuja, we control. Then there is this thought about the Homeland. We are ground. Without us, you will win election. So they need to come together. There need to be a synergy that will bring them together, because it is all about Igbo agenda. If these people can come together as a body, I tell you, many things will begin to work in the positive direction of it. But because there is this ego, there is this pride, it's denying so many things. We are not getting what we're supposed to get, because those people who will speak for the masses in Abuja is seeing the Homeland as the local ones. And the local ones is praying for their downfall, because they are neglecting them. But in a situation where they can come together, I tell you, so many things will take place.
All right, so some in Abuja are actually arguing that the Southeast should focus on governance at state level, and rather than the, national demand. Do you think that they are right?
They are not right. National demand is all of us. It's not made for a particular set of people. The only thing we need to do is understanding. Understanding. That's why today there's something I like Tinubu for, making an Igbo man Minister for Works. There are people who believe that that position does not fit an Igbo man. So that gradually we are coming up. We need to occupy the national space. We need to. Because when we occupy the national space, I tell you, there are so many things that can be done in the Southeast. May I digress a little?
Before you do that, I just want to ask, still on this issue of Abuja versus the homeland, and you mentioned having this synergy and working together. What would you say that the Southeast should do differently to be taken seriously in Abuja, or by those who are making the laws, to accommodate us in their lawmaking or in their planning?
Well, what we need to do is to come together. For example, Igbo man believes that he needs his comfort, which makes other zones feel that we feel too big, we feel proud. Now, the Igbos, what we need to do, like Dave Umahi is the Minister of Works. Dave Umahi, he needs to attract so many things, like the Enugu-Port Harcourt Express Road. He needs to build it for us. Enugu-Onitsha, he needs to build it for us. Igbos want to see what you are doing. If we begin to see all those things coming from the federal government, Igbos will begin to have confidence. You know, as it stands now, Igbos don't have confidence in this administration because they are feeling that they are being cheated, they are being neglected, they are not being carried along. And you know, an average Igbo man is proud of himself, proud of his family, and an average Igbo man will not come and say that black is white. So it is affecting us. But when we now begin to come together, there is this thing that happened during GTB and Innocent, where the Igbos withdrew within 24 hours. They withdrew their money from GTB Bank, and that case was resolved. I think it was resolved. So if Igbos will come together in one spirit, in one mind, I think we will occupy the national space. For now, we are scattered. We've not come together as an entity, as people who was this federal position. But we are still trying to, like I said earlier, there are so many things that are happening now that Igbos are coming together gradually, without people knowing it. Gradually, Igbos are coming together. And the way it is going, if it continues, we will occupy the national space. All
right, Honorable Ofe, hold on, Lillian.
All right.
Now, let's look at the Biafran War. Now, we see that the Biafran War still casts a shadow over Igbo political demands. How much of this history still affects Southeast or the Igbo when it comes to issues like zoning, power sharing, or even the trust that the Igbo people have in our political system today?
When you look at the positions being given to Igbos, you will know that Igbos are not being carried along. There are two things I always tell my people when we gather. I said, there are two things Igbos need. Real functioning international airport. Igbos are not core politicians. We are business people. 80% of Igbos are businessmen. What we need is seaport. After the war, it's over 50 years now. And you cannot come to Igbo land, you say you have a very good functioning international airport. It's still making us feel that after the war, things has not been properly shaped so that we can be well integrated in the national issue. Now, you will find out when you go to Apapa Wharf, you understand that Igbos are controlling the product that comes in. And in Igbo land, we don't have a seaport. So it makes an average Igbo man feel that probably the nation is still looking at us, that the war has not ended. It has ended, but it is still, they are still operating in a way that these people, let us not give them space. If we give them space, they will control us. So it is, the Biafra is still on secretly. Because if it is not on, my sister, what stops federal government to give us international airport? What stops them to give us seaport? Now, an average Igbo man travels to UK, travels to US. We don't have any functional embassy that is in the southeast. These are things you have to bring in. And an average Igbo man will find out that he is a complete Nigerian. So there are things that has been denied the Igbos that still make them feel that the war has ended, but the war is still secretly there. And they need to sort it out.
All right. So on social media, a whole lot of persons are comparing the Igbos to the women who are, recently agitating for seats in the National Assembly and other political space. Do you think that comparing the Igbos to the women is something that is okay? And then some Igbo groups are saying that they need a memorandum of understanding before they can do anything, even before they can vote or, abide by the development and the reforms that the government is putting in place. What's your take on that?
Well, in my family, my wife controls a lot. She controls a lot. If I'm not there, you know that something is wrong. So the woman has a lot to offer. So we should give them the space. We should bring them in. They have a lot. Check in any home. The Bible even said it. The woman builds her home. So many women, they are building their homes. Sorry to say this. You see the Yorubas, many of them love Igbo women. The late governor of Ondo married an Igbo woman. Many of them. You look at Davido. Davido says if it is not Choma, that there is no other woman on earth. You look at Atiku. After marrying, he says, I have not married an Igbo woman. Look at Marwa, Igbo woman. So we have quality women who can go to the national and represent us. Have you forgotten Okonjo Iweala? There is this one from Abia. I can't remember her name now. They have all made ways. So if they are agitating, please include them. Include them. They have a lot to offer. They have a lot to offer. Where you see a correct woman in every home, look at them. That is the place you see. When a man dies and a woman is the one in charge, check that family. You will see a doctor. You will see a lawyer. You will see an engineer. Because the woman will be crying. If your father is alive, will you do this? If your father is alive, will you do this? And the children will listen to their mother. And at the end of the day, they become great. So I agree in totality that the women should be inculcated in the political affairs of Nigeria, so that there are so many things that will be corrected.
So is the MOU realistic?
The MOU, it depends. But for me, the MOU, I can sign MOU with you and I will not implement it. It's all about understanding. Because if the thing is not properly done and agreed, MOU can't work. So when people want to confuse you, they say, let's do MOU. There are so many MOUs that has been signed that is not operating today. After all, I think there was an MOU that signed that no victor, no vanquish. Is it operating? So all we need is understanding, peace, unity. And as I have seen you now, I will appreciate you as a human being. I will give you your right. And these things will naturally move on. So MOU or no MOU, it does not matter. What matters is understanding and unity and peace.
Now, looking ahead to the 2027 political build-up in Nigeria, most of these political parties, APC, PDP, even the new alliances, they would need Southeast votes. But most of the time, we see that the promises that they make go unfulfilled. So how can Igbo interests be codified in party manifestos or binding commitments rather than, informal campaign promises?
When you go to the social media today, you will understand there is a lot of war. The Yorubas, they are against the Igbos. The North, they are against the Igbos. Why? Because of fake information about the Igbos. The only thing the Igbos need to do, which I have always told them, let's go and organize ourselves. If we organize ourselves, an average Igbo man is looking at an Hausa man as the one who will make him president. The last thing an Hausa man will do is to make an Igbo man president. So all we just need to do is to go and organize ourselves. That's why I love Dave Umahi. Dave Umahi was in PDP. He left PDP and went and negotiated in APC. That's why today he is the Minister for Works. I am not close to him. But as an Igbo man, I love what he did. I love the way he's playing his game. That is what an average Igbo man should do. We should form an alliance. Look at Oti, what Oti is doing in Abia. Look at Mba, what Mba is doing in Enugu. We need to come and build ourselves. When we build ourselves, they will look for us. Have you forgotten that we control markets everywhere? Igbos control the world. In United States today, there are some states, they have appointed Igbos as their advisors because we have a lot to offer. So all we need to do is organize ourselves. That at a time, Nigerians will see that without Igbos, they can't move forward. They will see that without Igbos, nothing will move. Then they will beg for us. They will look for us. But when you begin to chase them, when you begin to look for them, they mess you up. Because they feel that we are not united. All we need to do is to unite ourselves first. Because Igbos have vote. We don't vote. But in 2023, at least 65% of Igbos voted. And it started creating trouble. You can now imagine when 85-90% of Igbos will vote. We have the voting power. All we need is to come together, organize ourselves. Let's forget about Peter B is trying. He's connecting himself. He's moving, going to the north, going to the west. Two or 3 days ago, last week, I saw him. He went to Anoba. And people were saying all manner of things they were saying. But he kept on moving gradually. He's building an alliance. He's building. And that is what an average Igbo man is supposed to do. Let's organize ourselves. When we organize ourselves, nature has a way it rewards. You can't cheat a man for many years. A day will come, God will arise for him. All we need to do is to organize ourselves. Let's forget looking at them. When we organize ourselves, a day will come, they will look for us. Because as we said, the stone the builder rejected later became the cornerstone. Time is coming, they will look for us. All we need is to organize ourselves.
All right, so there's been a whole lot of conversations, about one-party system in Nigeria, then the PDP microzoning debate, and, also the coalition issues. So can you give us details into the build-up? And also, do you think that these political parties can unseat, the ruling party in Nigeria?
Tinubu, President Tinubu, is a master in this game. Now, I looked at Malami the other day. They chased him away. At a time, Malami was all in Nigeria. You can't do anything without Malami. So power is transit. Now he is begging. And he did a lot without uniting the nation. And today he has run to ADC. He wants to be governor, thinking that the coalition will not take over Nigeria. And he has run there, forgetting what he has done to destabilize this nation. So most of them running to ADC. You can imagine. I watched El-Rufai insulting Obi very, very well with everything in him. Today, El-Rufai is the one holding Obi's hand. Well, they said politics. In politics, no permanent friend, no permanent enemy. What we have is permanent interest. So the coalition coming together, they need to be sincere. They don't need to come because they want to fight the ruling government. They don't need to come because why? They have lost it. They are no more in the home of affairs, and they are gathering themselves together. We want to remove Tinubu. The only problem I have with Tinubu's administration is his SAs. They still behave like an opposition party. What they need to be doing now is to tell Nigerians, because there is hunger, like we are saying in 2027, there is a lot of hunger And the Bible says a hungry man is an angry man. Look at Jesus. Jesus walked the whole day. And as he was going, he was hungry. He saw a tree. When he looked at that tree, he said, oh, let's go there and get a fruit. And when Jesus came there, he didn't see a fruit. He got annoyed and cursed that tree. The next day, when the disciples were going, they saw that the tree has died. If Jesus can be hungry and became angry, our Father, our Maker, was hungry and he didn't see food and he was annoyed, talk less of. I don't know if you are getting me. So all they need to do is to package things for Nigeria. There is a lot of hunger in the nation. And APC again, what they need to do is that there's a man in the Bible, Isaiah. God told Isaiah, so go and tell him that he will die. Go and tell him that he will die. And when he told him, Isaiah looked at the wall and said, sir, I have done this, I have done this, I have done this, I have done this. I need to do this so that you give me time. And God said, go and tell him I have added more 15 years. So what APC just need to do is to tell Nigerians, we have done this, we have done this, we've done that. We need to finish this. And you see, tension will be low because there's a lot of tension in Nigeria now.
All right, Honorable Ofebu. Now, let's look at the issue of insecurity and separatist agitation in the southeast. And now we've seen that this has affected how others view the region politically. From your point of view, how can Igbo leaders manage these issues without losing their bargaining power?
You see, security is the most important thing. If here is not secured, I won't come. Do you understand me? You look at the situation. This security issue is manipulated by some people in the government, right from Buhari's regime. And that's why you see Igbo land that used to be a peaceful land, there's now a lot of problem. And how do we solve it? Our elites, they need to come out and speak. They need to come up. They need to. Because if they come up to speak, there will be peace in the land. Do you know the damages these things has caused? I was in Lagos. We have a property, we wanted to use it to get money. The financial house said, no, they are not coming to the east because there is an insecurity. You see, this insecurity is beyond what people are seeing. It has affected the business in the southeast. It's just like the Igbo man will say, oh, on your own, Igbos are on your own. Igbos, they have heart. If not, this insecurity could have destabilized Nigeria. So all I'm begging our elites in Igbo land is that let there be a summit on security. Let us have a roadmap on security. Then the Igbos, the elders, they cannot go to Mr. President and discuss with him. Then, again, the governors has their role to play in the security of Southeast, because there's a lot that is happening in the Southeast that the other zones, they don't want us to come up. But in security, we need to organize ourselves. I know when Sullivan was the governor of Enugu State, there is security everywhere. You can walk in the night. That even the AIG, the IG by then came and said that Enugu State is the most secured state. So we need to, our elites, our elders needs to come up and let's have a roadmap to these security issues.
All right, thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Honorable Chidi of Weibo. Thank you for joining us this morning.
Thank you.
And that is where we'll end that conversation on the 2027 political build-up in Nigeria, the Igbo agenda, unanswered questions, and of Abuja and the Homeland. All right, coming up next is Political Circle with Lukumbo. After that, Abuja Studio has much more conversation coming your way. Do stay with us.